Well, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Really means a lot to have you on board. You're at the Five Forks. I'm your host, and my name is Barry. Here at the Five Forks, we discuss topics of interest for the newly retired, those about to retire, and some topics for those that might have been retired for some time. I hope that these things that we discuss will be informative and entertaining, and I hope you check in each week to see what's new. So come along for the ride. Let's get started. Here's today's episode. Hello, it's great to have you with us today. I'm going to be looking at something today that I think can be easily overlooked when we start our retirement planning. There's just so much that we have to take into account. But if we look at coping and retirement together, that's something that we really need to think about. Our topic today, we're going to address the impact of retirement as a couple and look at a small sampling of issues that couples might face in retirement. Now, I think these things are probably more common when one partner retires before the other, but many of us will have coping issues and uncertainty as we make the transition from work into retirement. I'll give you one example. My dad retired about 3 years before my mother did, and he quickly settled into his own little routine while he was at home by himself each day, and he enjoyed the time. He was gardening, he was take off and go fishing whenever he wanted to, he was doing home improvements that he had long postponed. And then one day he called me up and he seemed very anxious. He just didn't sound like himself. So I asked him, I said, "Dad, what's wrong?" And he told me then that he thought his new life, the one that he had so enjoyed, was about to change. At least he felt like it was going to be a dramatic change. It ended up not being, but you see, my mom, she announced the day before to him that she had worked long enough and she was going to retire at the end of the calendar year. It was already autumn. He wasn't devastated, but man, he was so unsure of how things was going to, how things were going to work out, what adjustments he might have to make. And there was some frustration and some adjustments by both of them, and eventually it all worked out. And my mom and dad, they enjoyed over 20 years of retirement life together. And some couples might not be able to handle it as well as they did. But I think with some planning, you can ease into the transition between work life and retirement life pretty smoothly. Now, it's time for the disclaimer. Before I get started, I've got to let you know up front that I am not a professional in a field of counseling. I'm not a counselor of any type, especially marriage counseling. These things that we're going to talk about today are only my opinions. That's it. So listen accordingly. Well, let's take a look at a few of the common problems. Just the adjustment to change. Retirement brings about a significant change in routine and your lifestyle, and it could take some time to get that done. Just as, in my example above, my dad had his daily routine, and then he had to adjust. He had to accommodate my mom's presence there every day and take into consideration what she might want to do. So couples need to find new ways to spend their time and maintain a sense of purpose. There's going to be financial concerns. That's pretty much a given. Hopefully we've addressed that in the retirement planning stage, but still things are going to come up. And it can be more challenging in retirement, especially if you're on a fixed income. So partners have to navigate the budgeting, the expenses that happen each and every month. Any discrepancies in financial goals or habits need to be addressed. And so with adjustments and proper planning, I think we should be able to move into that transition between work and retirement with very few hiccups, but there's going to be some. Difference in leisure activities. This is one that could give us some heartburn because each partner may have different interests and preferences for how they want to spend their free time. Each partner is going to have a different vision of what they expect retirement to be. So balancing these differences and finding some common ground, can be a challenge sometimes. And there could be a loss of identity. the loss of our professional identity and loss of our social connections from the workplace can lead to feelings of purposelessness and isolation. Especially true if one of the partners is really, really happy with their new life and the other's not so much. So that in itself could lead to conflicts within the relationship. So again, planning eliminates some of those issues. We could face some health problems. As we age, health concerns may arise. Dealing with chronic illness or changes in physical abilities can place additional strain on the relationship. And it's going to require further adjustment and support from both partners. I'm going to go back to my parents' example for a minute. Soon after my mom's retirement, she was struck with a somewhat debilitating disease. It caused tremors in her neck, and eventually the muscles in her neck contracted in such a way that she couldn't turn her head. And, when you're trying to drive, you have to be able to turn your head to see what's happening around you. And she just couldn't do it anymore, so she could no longer drive. That placed an additional strain on the two of them, and they had to learn to deal with it because my mom was a bit of a shopper, and she enjoyed going out, spending the day, and my dad was more of a homebody, so he had to adjust to that because he had to take her everywhere she went because she could no longer drive. But they were able to compromise and deal with it. And when we marry, we pledge to each other that we're going to take care of each other in sickness and in health. But sometimes that's easier said than done. So we have to think about those things and plan for them. So let's take a look at a few strategies couples could use to navigate this transition. Communication is key. Open communication at any stage of a relationship, including retirement, is key. Couples are going to have to openly discuss their expectations or goals or concerns. And then that allows each partner to kind of understand what is happening in the other's head and support each other. I think one of the biggest things you could do is collaboratively create a shared vision for what you want your retirement to be. You got to talk about the activities that you both want to pursue and places you want to visit and the lifestyle that you envision. Having shared goals, though, can provide a sense of purpose and keep you motivated. So if you plan and set goals together that align with your interests and values, then there could be something in it for both of you. There's going to be some give and take. We don't always have to do everything together when we're retired, so finding a balance between your individual and your joint activities is important. I think it's essential to find common interests and activities to enjoy together, but it's also important that each of us have our own hobbies and our own interest and the time for ourselves. So finding that balance between individual and joint activities can help maintain independence while fostering a connection. Again, financial planning is the biggest crucial thing in retirement, before your retirement and during your retirement. So you have to stay on the same page with that regarding your spending, your saving, investments. And if you have trouble with that, you need to contact a professional for financial advice and ensure that you maintain your financial security. Staying socially connected is a big thing because, retirement can sometimes lead to a loss of those social connections that we had through our workplace. So you can encourage each other to maintain those friendships or join clubs and meet new people, participate in community activities, but just stay socially engaged so that you can enhance the overall well-being and prevent those feelings of isolation that can come up. So when you're looking at this together, you can embrace new opportunities. Retirement offers opportunities for your personal growth and your exploration. You can encourage each other to try new activities and learn new skills. or pursue passions that may have been set aside during the working years. So embracing your experiences together will deepen your bond. One thing my wife and I are going to share is her love of crafting. And it's her little side hustle. She's got started a little business and is doing quite well. So we plan to attend several craft fairs or events this coming summer, where we'll rent a space and we'll set up a little shop. We'll be able to enjoy the travel and the experience of the festival together. Plus, I'll be supporting her in her little side job that she's building and enjoying. Now remember, your situation is unique. What works for you may not work so easily for me or my partner. But the key thing that we have to keep in mind is you need to approach your retirement as a team, supporting and respecting each other's needs and aspirations. Now, it's going to take some practice, no doubt about that. But there's ways that we can support each other as we move into this retirement. Emotional support. We can be there to support each other because retirement can bring about a mix of emotions, and including it could be excitement, uncertainty, loss. But just to be there emotionally, listening and validating each other's feelings and offering encouragement and reassurance during this transition, I think will help each of us to maintain our, I guess I want to say, sense of well-being as we give up something and take on something new. Another thing where we can support each other is sharing responsibilities. We've got more time available, so it's an opportunity to reevaluate some household or even outdoor responsibilities. Discuss how you can share the workload and divide the task in a way that feels fair for both partners. But supporting each other and then managing the day-to-day responsibilities can reduce stress and create a sense of teamwork, and also provide more time that will allow the extra time to pursue other activities. When you're exploring new hobbies together, it's an excellent time to do that because now you've got time and you can encourage each other to try new activities, and you can find shared hobbies that both of you might enjoy. It can provide a sense of purpose and foster connection and create opportunities for some quality time together. I've encouraged my wife to take up golf, and she's taken some lessons, and I hope that she'll be able to join me. It's a great sport. It's a wonderful sport, and it's beautiful. I've never seen an ugly golf course. Well, maybe I've seen a couple of ugly golf courses, but most of them are beautiful, and it's a time to be outside and just enjoy the fresh air and camaraderie. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to do some of that. But you got to also give each other some space for your personal growth. Retirement brings a chance for self-discovery, and you can support each other in pursuing your individual passions, your hobbies. Maybe you want to learn a new topic, so the learning opportunities are available. So just allow some space for personal fulfillment and encourage each other's personal development. Respect each other's need for solitude. There's going to be those times when you just want to be alone. And so respect that time and encourage time with friends. Balancing togetherness and independence will strengthen your relationship, and it's going to ensure personal fulfillment. But it's going to be tough at the same time. You got to figure it out. You can encourage each other to stay physically active. You need to prioritize physical well-being by engaging in regular exercise and physical activity. And this can include walks together. It's a great thing that we live in a neighborhood where there's sidewalks all around, and my wife and I can spend the afternoon walking around together. I've joined a fitness club. We can take fitness classes together, and we can also participate in outdoor activities other than golf. There's a lot of things that we could do outside. One is bike riding. We have a rail trail nearby that we can spend time riding our bicycles. Physical activity, it promotes your health, but it also provides some opportunities for some quality time together and some bonding. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle is just part of that with the exercise, but you have to also try to support each other in other ways for your healthy lifestyle. For example, you need to look at your food choices. You need to prioritize sleep. You have to manage your stress. But you can encourage each other to engage in those self-care activities. And, if you have to, sometimes you have to make sure that the other person is seeking medical care when they need to, because a lot of times we get a little stubborn with that. I guess one of the main things is you just got to practice some patience and flexibility. Remember that retirement is a significant life transition, and it may take time for both of you to adjust, but being patient with each other and allowing room for flexibility will help you navigate through this new phase. You can embrace the changes and adapt to the evolving dynamics of your relationship because it's going to change. Our retirement years can be whatever we choose to make them. Choose to make this time a one of discovery and exploration. If you need to seek professional guidance, do so. It can be challenging to navigate the transition into retirement. And sometimes issues arise and they seem much bigger than they are, so don't ever hesitate to seek some professional guidance. Couples counseling or retirement planning services, any of those things can provide valuable insights and tools to help you thrive during this stage of your life. Supporting each other in retirement is an ongoing process, so be attentive, understanding, and prioritize your relationship. Keep the romance alive. Don't forget to nurture your romantic connection. Plan date nights. Surprise each other with small gestures of love and affection, and continue to prioritize intimacy in your relationship. Keep the romance alive, and it'll help you sustain that spark and excitement throughout your retirement years. Celebrate the milestones and achievements that you have. Acknowledge and celebrate them together, whether it's reaching a financial goal or completing a project or marking an anniversary. Take the time to recognize those and appreciate each other's accomplishments. This is going to foster a sense of pride and support and encouragement in your relationship. But just enjoy the journey. Remember to enjoy this journey of retirement together. Embrace the freedom, the relaxation, and all the opportunities that retirement brings. Make the most of your time. You've got time together to create a fulfilling and a joyful life as you embark on this brand new chapter of your life that's going to, it's going to be a while. You're probably going to be retired, living together much longer than you were courting before you ever got married. So it's a wonderful time to share with your partner. So, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you found it useful. I hope that it gave you something to think about. And I hope you have a wonderful retired life with the one that you love. Please leave a comment. Let me know how you've handled some of the issues that might have come up in your retirement as a couple. And let me know if you'd like to hear more on this topic or another topic that you'd like to see me dive into. So as I close today, let me just say, enjoy. Please take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you later. Well, that's it for today. Thanks again for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Like, subscribe, and follow so that you'll know when the new episode is available. Share this with your friends, and if you like the content, you can always buy me a coffee. That link is www.buymeacoffee.com/@the5. Once again, you've been listening at the Five Forks, and until next time, When faced with a fork in the road, take it.